So that's it, the Premier League Summer Series over for Newcastle United, and they signed off with a win here at the Red Bull Arena, and I have to say it was an absolute scorcher of a night. It was hard enough just to sit in that sort of intensity, that intense dry heat. That was difficult enough just to sit and watch. I actually saw a couple of fans requiring medical attention at one point as well, so it's starting to get a bit concerning, but for the players it must have been just unbelievable, and some of them played the full 90 minutes, which is just incredible. It just shows you've got to respect what they do for a living, and I know they earn unbelievable money, but to be able to go out and do that is incredible, especially in these conditions. It must be the ultimate physical test, and that's what it felt like for Newcastle. I think in the game to begin with, it was all Brighton. Brighton had the most of the ball. Newcastle were playing a 4-3-3 system, but very often sitting back with sort of 5 midfielders across the park, just trying to restrict Brighton from getting through. And it looked like a game between two sets of tired players. And after it, Eddie Howe, he pointed to the fatigue. He said that it was going to be difficult for the players this tour, the intensity levels of it. But I think the second half, he probably saw a lot of positive signs. A lot of players who are trying to stake a claim for the season, for getting his team for that game against Aston Villa. And then ultimately, you've got to take a look around his options. Even with only 2 senior signings in, there's players competing for a shirt, and that was always going to be tough for some players. But I think tonight they showed that they can do it. And I think for me, Elliot Anderson now has to start. I think the second half, Newcastle fell 1-0 down, and they needed someone to save them, and Elliot Anderson was that man. Welbeck had tapped home. A bit of a sloppy goal really from Newcastle's point of view. The ball coming across face of goal, and Welbeck just tapping home at the back post. And at that point you thought it might not be Newcastle's night. But I think the great thing about this has been Newcastle have shown they can come back. And during this whole tournament, they've been behind. They were 2-0 down against Villa, they come back to draw. They were a goal down against Chelsea, they come back to draw. They were a goal down here, and they would come back to win. And a draw probably felt like it would have been a fair result. But Anderson's first goal showed he was prepared to battle for the ball, slam a finish home, after just making a menace of himself in the box. And then the second goal, just a great ball over the top from Jacob Murphy, I think. And then Anderson just ran on. And those one-on-ones, they're the hardest opportunities to score, aren't they? They're the hardest chances in football to score, because sometimes, how many times do you hear it after a player has one of them and misses, and people say, oh yeah, he probably had too much time. Well, Elliot Anderson just completely controlled the time. He made time stand still in some ways, even though it was a real sprint, and he just sort of just cut in and then slammed it home with his left foot this time. So look, it was a little bit almost like that goal against Aston Villa last week, and he will feel that he's surely now got to be on that team sheet for the opener against Villa. So 2 goals for him. He got player of the match. He's probably been player of the tournament for Newcastle, I would say. More good performances from him. Eddie Howe just cannot really leave him out. So yeah, the players, they've got a day off tomorrow here, and then I think they head home on Sunday. And yeah, it's been an incredible 10 days. You've seen nothing like it in terms of the heat and what it's brought, and the challenges it's brought, and the fact that it's just been a packed schedule. It's just been one event after another as far as the media is concerned, and that is brilliant, because it means that we've had so much access to the players that you wouldn't normally get. You're almost you know, you're part of their tour, and you know, you're getting sort of guided around by Premier League officials. So it's been really positive from that point of view. But now, you know, it moves on to the Seller Cup next weekend, where you will, I hope the conditions are a little bit cooler than this, but we'll soon know, and Eddie Howe will soon know his final team sheet against Aston Villa.